Ever notice how solving a simple problem today feels like navigating a maze designed to exhaust you? You try to cancel a subscription that took 5 clicks to sign up for, but now requires 20 steps to leave. You want to dispute a medical bill, but it comes with pages of codes no one explains. You're filling out an online form that somehow asks for the same information 3 different ways. And after all that effort, you're still told to wait, call back, or just start over. You walk away feeling frustrated, confused, and strangely powerless, as if the system itself is pushing back against you. This isn't an accident. What you're re-experiencing is something that looks a lot like a Rube Goldberg machine system built with layers of unnecessary complexity, where a simple outcome requires an absurd chain of steps. A Rube Goldberg machine, originally a cartoon meant to be humorous, performs a basic task through an overly complicated sequence of actions. But when you look closely at modern life, especially in areas like healthcare, insurance, customer service, and corporate systems, you begin to realize that many of these systems function the same way, except the humor is gone, replaced by stress, delays, and quiet resignation. When people face these systems, they often assume the complexity exists because the problem itself is complicated, or maybe that they personally made a mistake. But in reality, the confusion is often built into the design, and that's where the real story begins. Modern systems are not designed primarily for clarity or ease. They are designed around incentives, legal protection, cost control, and risk management. When those priorities take center stage, simplicity becomes optional, and sometimes even undesirable. Take healthcare as an example. It's a system that exists to heal people, but it often leaves them confused about coverage, bills, and responsibility. Patients receive invoices weeks after a visit, filled with cryptic codes, partial payments, and vague explanations. When they call for clarity, they get transferred between departments that don't fully communicate with each other. This isn't because no one cares, but because the system itself was built 2 separate roles: shift accountability and reduce direct responsibility for any single person. Insurance systems follow a similar logic. Policies are written to manage risk at a massive scale, not to be easily understood by individuals. And that complexity acts as a filter. It discourages challenges, slows down claims, and reduces payouts without explicitly denying service. This makes the system legally compliant while still protecting its profit margins. This kind of complexity creates friction, and friction is powerful. The harder something is to question, challenge, or change, the more likely people are to simply give up, accept the outcome, or even blame themselves. We see the same pattern in corporate customer service. Those automated menus, long wait times, and repetitive verification steps aren't just inefficiencies. They are tools that reduce the volume of calls, deflect responsibility, and control costs by exhausting the user before a resolution is ever reached. From the outside, it feels broken. But from inside the system, it often works exactly as intended. Many people assume these systems just evolved accidentally, growing messy and complicated over time. But more often, the complexity is layered on deliberately. It comes from legal requirements, internal safeguards, compliance rules, and financial incentives that reward protection over clarity. Each layer makes sense in isolation, adding a little safety here, some documentation there, reducing risk somewhere else. But over time, these layers stack up, and the end user is left navigating a machine that no one fully owns or understands. This explains why it is so hard to find a single person who can fix a problem from end to end. Modern systems are designed to distribute responsibility across departments, vendors, and platforms. This ensures no single point of failure exists, but it also ensures that no single point of accountability remains. This design protects institutions from lawsuits, financial losses, and reputational risk, but it also creates an emotional distance between the system and the people it's supposed to serve. When users feel confused, they might assume it's incompetence or even malice, but more often, they're just experiencing incentive alignment, where the system is optimizing for metrics that don't include user satisfaction as a top priority. In our workplaces, this same logic shows up when employees spend hours on processes that seem pointless, filling out reports no one reads, attending meetings where no decisions are made, or following procedures that actively slow down progress. This happens because these systems often reward compliance and documentation more than actual outcomes. Over time, Organizations become machines that are primarily focused on preserving themselves. Any attempt at simplification that might increase risk is resisted, even if it would dramatically improve the human experience. This is why modern life can feel harder despite having better technology. Technology has increased the capability of our systems, but it has also increased their complexity. It has allowed for more layers of control, tracking, and optimization to be added. The result is a world where simple actions require navigating digital labyrinths, where clarity is replaced by pages of policies, and where we, the users, are expected to adapt to systems rather than the systems adapting to us. Importantly, this doesn't require bad intentions. Most of these systems are built by people who are just trying to do their jobs, meet regulations, and protect their organizations from failure. But when the incentives reward caution, defensiveness, and scalability above all else, complexity becomes the default outcome. Once a system reaches a certain size, simplicity is seen as risky. Simplicity removes buffers, and buffers owe to protect institutions, not users. This also explains why change is so slow. Removing steps feels dangerous to those inside the system, even if those steps are causing harm to people on the outside. For individuals, this experience can create a sense of learned helplessness, the feeling that pushing back isn't worth the effort, that the cost of understanding the system outweighs any potential benefit. And over time, people stop asking why things are so hard. They just accept frustration as a normal part of life. But understanding the Rube Goldberg nature of modern systems helps to reframe this experience. It shows that your confusion is not a personal failure, and the inefficiency you face is not random. It is the result of systems designed to prioritize stability, protection, and cost control over clarity and ease. The takeaway is not that all systems are evil or broken, but that modern complexity has its own logic. And that logic often serves institutions far better than it serves individuals. Once you see this pattern, you start noticing it everywhere. In healthcare, insurance, work, customer service, and bureaucracy. The frustration becomes less mysterious because you understand the machine you're interacting with. Modern systems don't confuse us because they forgot to be simple. They confuse us because complexity protects them. And recognizing that truth can change how you interpret everyday frustration, not as chaos, but as. Thanks for watching. If this idea resonates with you, let me know in the comments where you see these Rube Goldberg machines in your own life. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that helps make sense of our complex world.